Solve the following equations. Be sure to check all of your answers. 2x minus 1 over x squared plus 2x minus 8 plus 2 over x plus 4 equals 1 over x minus 2. First thing we'll do is factor all the denominators. This might take a moment, but ultimately, hopefully, for the first set of parentheses, get x plus 4 times x minus 2. I don't think there's anything we can do with the other denominators, but I will leave a little bit of space there because my next step is going to be to complete the denominators so that all the denominators are the same. Okay, so we've got our denominators factored. And now we're going to put in what's missing to try to build that LCD, or lowest common denominator. So the idea here is looking at the first fraction. I see a denominator of x plus 4 and x minus 2. And it isn't missing the guy from the middle denominator, and it isn't missing this last denominator. So I think that denominator is good. And so maybe the goal is to take this one and turn it into that thing. So we're going to look and see what's missing here that's in the first denominator. And what's missing is that x minus 2. So that's what we'll multiply the bottom by. But the moment you multiply the bottom of a fraction by a number, you must multiply the top by exactly the same thing. And then on the last denominator, we're going to put in something different. Again, trying to turn this into this. So what is it missing? It's missing the x plus 4. So that's what's going to go in here. And again, as soon as you do that downstairs, you must immediately do it upstairs. It doesn't make a difference in this problem, but technically, probably safest to put parentheses around all of those original denominators. And yeah, I think we're good now. And looking at those denominators, we see they're all the same. And so this is a step I'm not going to write out all the details for, but if we multiply both sides by this common denominator, x plus 4 times x minus 2, then the denominator will get canceled here, and it will get canceled here, and it will get canceled here. And so we just multiply both sides by that denominator, and all the denominators vanish. And so I'm just going to write what's left. 2x minus 1 plus 2 times x minus 2 equals 1 times x plus 4. And all of a sudden, the fraction equation is a lot less intimidating now. We got rid of those fractions, and we have a pretty straightforward equation to solve here. So first parentheses aren't needed, plus we'll distribute that 2. And distributing the 1 doesn't do anything. Combine like terms on the left-hand side. Subtract the x from both sides. Add 5 to both sides. And then finally divide both sides by 3. Gives us x equals 3. Technically, for any problem, any equation where there are algebraic fractions involved, we need to check our answers, because even though we didn't make any mistakes getting to x equals 3, it's possible that x equals 3 actually doesn't work. So it's important for us to check. So let's do our check real quick. We're going to take x equals 3 and plug it back into the original. So the original thing becomes, so all those x's in the original equation will become 3's. So 2 times 3 minus 1 divided by 3 squared plus 2 times 3 minus 8. Then plus the next fraction, 2 over x plus 4 becomes 2 over 3 plus 4. And the last fraction, 1 over 3 minus 2. So all those x's become 3's. And I said equals, but I don't really know. I'm hoping it's equal. But this is a check, so there's a question as to whether or not it's equal. Okay, so let's do all this arithmetic. Upstairs we get 5. Down here, 9 and 6 is 15 minus 8 is 7. 2 over 7 in the bottom equals question mark 1 over 1. This looks good because 5 sevenths plus 2 sevenths is 1. 7 sevenths, and then 1 over 1 is 1, and so x equals 3 actually works. So that is our solution. Moving on to part B. It's going to be the same idea first. Factor all the denominators. In this case, the denominators are already factored, so we don't have to do anything there. So let's just copy that thing and put in some blank space and parentheses around everything. So I'm just leaving some blank space on my fraction lines. Okay, so let's look at these denominators. The biggest thing I see, the term with two factors in it, is that last fraction. So x plus 3, x plus 1. I see an x plus 3, I see an x plus 1. So this is the same kind of thing as above, where the one denominator, the one at the far right in this case, is complete. And then we just have to fill in what's missing. So what's missing here is an x plus 1, and right away put it upstairs. What's missing in this next one is the x plus 3, and then right away upstairs. And then if we multiply both sides by the lowest common denominator, x plus 3 times x plus 1, then all those denominators vanish. So I'll just write what's left over after we've gotten rid of all the denominators. So there's our equation with no fractions in it. We'll distribute the 2 and the 5. And hopefully you're recognizing that there's a mistake in here. We've got to be really careful whenever we have subtraction. So we were subtracting this entire thing, which means we are subtracting this entire thing, which means I made a mistake when I put plus 15. Really should have been minus 15. Okay, so I think that's good now. We'll combine terms on the left-hand side. Negative 3x minus 13. Let's move the negative 3x to the right by adding it to both sides. Subtract 5 from both sides. Divide both sides by 6. We get x equals negative 3. And again, just like we said above, it's imperative to check your answer whenever solving equations involving algebraic fractions. So let's do our check on this one over here on the right. So all those x's are going to become negative 3's. So 2 over, instead of x plus 3, it's negative 3 plus 3 minus 5 over x plus 3, or x plus 1 becomes negative 3 plus 1 equals with a question mark. Upstairs, the x becomes a negative 3. And downstairs, the x's become negative 3's. And upon further reflection, hopefully we recognize there's a problem right there, because that's 2 over 0, which is undefined, which means x equals negative 3 is not a solution. Even though we didn't make any mistakes, we did all the algebra right. It's just that you can get things that appear to be answers, but actually it turns out they aren't. So that means that x equals 3, negative 3 is not a solution. And since that was the only candidate that we came up with when we did our algebra, that means that there must be no solutions to the original equation. And so maybe I'll make a notation down here. X equals negative 3 looked like it was the winner, but actually the final answer to this problem is no solutions.